Welcome to the home counties. Weeping willows and babbling brooks, croquet and conservatism.
What do you think Blue's chances are?
30%.
Change may be coming, but from a different direction.
It's quite a long shot, Red. What are your chances?
It's pretty low. I haven't got much choice but to try and hit Blue out the way.
So you're just here to block the Blues?
I'm here to knock Blue out the way.
Strategy and shifting conditions on the pitch on which this game is played could be creating a clear run for the Yellows.
Yellow and red are partners.
Is Red capable of doing anything here apart from helping Yellow?
He doesn't need to help Yellow.
The Yellow's home and dry now.
Yellow's home and dry on that hoop.
Croquet doesn't seem that dissimilar to the election then.
No comment on that one.
It's not just a Conservative being challenged here in Godalming and Ash, but the Conservative Chancellor, who may make history as the first ever sitting Chancellor to lose their seat. The threat is real, so like every other candidate, he's flooding the feeds of every social media user locally.
What I'm saying to everyone is that a strong local MP can make a real difference.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Follows, and I'm the Lib Dem candidate for Godalming and Ash.
I went to school here in Guildford and Godalming,
which is why I'm standing as your Lib candidate.
In ordinary times, a well-known incumbent plus a pretty hefty majority should mean that re-election is a walk in the park. But for a variety of reasons, these are not normal times. Perhaps best described, because it's an election, through the medium of a local campaign video. Let's go vertical. Despite Labour leading in the polls nationally, this is in the top 15 most affluent areas in England and Wales. The sort of place warnings about high taxes under Labour should go down well. But around here, far more people voted to remain in the Brexit referendum, and it's still an issue that comes up. All that creates an opportunity for the Liberal Democrats. But there is one other aspect: boundary changes. Places like Cranley are now in the constituency, and Cranley voters locally have a long history of voting Lib Dem, making it harder for Jeremy Hunt. OK, can we... Great.
Guys are from Channel 4.
Hello, how you doing?
Just coming down to ask me how the race is going down here.
Is he likely to get your vote?
Still in the balance.
In the balance.
That's a message Jeremy Hunt hasn't been all that used to hearing, having been an MP in what was a safe seat for 19 years.
Come on, are you really that worried about losing your seat?
Well, you'd look around here and you would think this has got to be a Conservative seat.
I mean, you'd imagine so,
Yeah, but the reality is that it's a very middle-class area, very smart voters, very educated voters, and they come to their own view, and you can never take their votes for granted. And around here, the Lib Dems are very strong, but also a number of the Conservative voters voted to leave the EU, and they are tempted by Nigel Farage, and so this is really on a knife edge.
Is it really just because of the Lib Dems, or just because of reform, or, I'm trying to find a nice way of saying this, is it because a lot of these voters may have just had enough of the Conservatives?
Well, there is an element of people wondering if it's time for a change.
Have you had to work harder for this than you have in previous elections?
I have never worked harder in a general election than this election.
But I can't imagine D-Day or the gambling scandal has made it any easier for you.
No, I don't pretend otherwise. But what I would say is that, and this is what I think is so unusual about this campaign, is that a really high proportion of people are saying on the doorstep they haven't made their mind up.
Every vote will count. Unfortunately for Jeremy Hunt, this man and reform may pick up a small but significant enough number to shift the electoral calculus.
Your biggest contribution to this election might be getting the Liberal Democrat elected around here and Jeremy Hunt out.
So goes the argument. I think it's important we send the Conservatives a message. They are no longer Conservatives. We no longer can support them. So yes, if that's the eventual outcome, I'll be happy enough.
There has historically been one vote the Conservatives have been able to count on: business. But around here, that's not a guarantee anymore either.
May I ask, as a small business owner then, does it feel like the Conservatives are still the party of business?
I don't think the Conservatives will ever be the party of small business.
You're around here.
Yes.
You must be voting Tory then.
No, voting Labour.
Labour?
Yes.
It's
yeah,
Lib Dem around here.
It is, but I'm doing it for. I work in construction, and I feel Labour have got a better housing policy.
You're Conservative.
100%.
But Conservatives have had 14 years.
Well,
Yeah, but you
go.
say that, but they
14
haven't.
years.
You had. Are you with these guys?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, you've come in
with.
with.
Get my watch done.
Well, you chat away then, because you probably tell me to bug off, won't you?
Yeah.
Keir
yeah,
Starmer will tell you anything you want to hear.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, so you don't like Keir Starmer.
Well, I don't dislike him, but ultimately,
You're not enamoured with him.
I'm sure he's a decent guy. Well, I'm not enamoured with any of them really.
Well, no, that is the problem.
That's the trouble.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
where have we gone wrong?
May I ask? So at the moment, are you thinking of voting Labour? Or are you thinking of voting
We
Lib Dem?
have to vote Lib Dem because we have,
that's
to
it, I
get Jeremy
thought
Hunt
so.
out.
Would you actually describe yourself as a Lib Dem or just someone who's voting Lib Dem this time around?
I am someone that's voting Lib Dem.
After
I don't know
my
what
views.
I am anymore.
Liberal Democrat voters were less forthcoming, though, while we were out canvassing with the Liberal Democrats.
Normally we got Jeremy who comes round.
Yeah.
Jeremy is really good for the area. So
Why is that?
She's already voted for Jeremy.
Oh, what's wrong
Sorry
with
about that.
That's all right, it happens. There's going to be a few, isn't there? The Conservative Party have started to move to the right and have now moved quite heavily to the right.
Yeah.
And broadly, Conservative voters here, they have not changed. The party that they have voted for, sometimes for their entire lives, that has changed right before their eyes. They're now they're looking for alternatives.
And you're creeping up in the middle.
Well, they're looking for alternatives. The Labour Party have their battleground and non-battleground seats, and they are, I'm sure, putting resources into
Oh, come on,
places
it's
they have a
helping you
chance.
out that there's barely any sign of Labour around here.
And people have noticed that. And Labour members and activists around here and people who are used to voting Labour, they know what to do if they want change.
Very
And it's
tactical.
For me, yeah.
The one thing that may stand in the Lib Dems' way, though, Labour.
You might end up, though, taking votes away from the Lib Dems and making it easier for Jeremy Hunt to stay in place around here.
No, it's about positive vote. I understand the tactical voting, but people should vote on policies. So if there's a big Labour vote out there, you should vote for, if they want a Labour MP, they need to vote Labour. People make their own decisions on that, and I think from what's in Doorstep, there will be tactical voting. That's fine, but I'm in it to win it. You don't stand in elections.
You're not in it to
I'm in
win
it to win it. Yeah.
You have no chance around here.
We don't know. We'll see.
It's not just Jeremy Hunt in danger at this election.
Alex here.
The Justice Secretary, the Defence Secretary, the Leader of the House of Commons, and multiple other senior Tories and Cabinet members are too. 3 days from now, these green and pleasant lands could be transformed politically beyond recognition.